Hello and a very warm welcome to the Tower of London and into the Chapel Royal of St Peter ad Vincula for today's Thought for the Day on Tuesday the 16th of March. I want to think a little bit about the difference between sympathy and empathy, and I want to do that in a very simple way as well. But I want to do it in the context of the very tragic death of Sarah Everard and also our thoughts about the police at this time, when it seems that one of their own has been responsible for this death. And also there's been the response of the police over the weekend to the gatherings in Clapham Common. Now, as you all know, I'm the father of two daughters, Beth and Harriet. Beth went to university, went on to teacher training college, and I'm proud to say that Beth worked extremely hard, did extremely well at college, but she also, as she does today, plays very hard as well. And of course, it's in that last bit that as a parent you feel slightly anxious. You always hope that whatever they're up to, they get home safely. And I'm very pleased to say that Beth did, full stop. Also, I think about Harriet, and living here at the Tower of London, as many of you know she did with her husband Joel after she got married. And I recall that sometimes they would have a night out separately rather than together. Joel would go off and play football and then meet up with his friends for a pint afterwards. And Harriet would go out to meet her friends. I don't think to play football, but at least I don't think you did, Harriet. And then she would come home. And I remember as a parent often saying to her, Harriet, if you're coming home late to the Tower, please get in a taxi, come home. If you haven't got the money by then, just ring me. I'll meet you at the gate and then I'll pay the bill. I'll give you the following morning, I'll give you the bill. No, of course I didn't. I'd want to say, though, and I think you'd expect this of me, that I didn't have any different reaction to our son Richard either. It wasn't just about one or the other. And as you all know, and our three children have now pretty much grown up, but you never stop worrying about them, even though Beth has a senior job in Hong Kong and Harriet is married with 3 of her own children, as Richard is married with his. You never stop worrying about them. And so it's in that particular context of that worry and anxiety that we can't even begin to feel for or understand for Sarah's parents that I particularly want to think about the distinction between sympathy and empathy. Now, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a Christian psychologist either, but I know enough about the basic principles of those two words to be able to share a bit of that with you within the framework of the Christian context. So what is the difference? Well, sympathy is, and it's easily understood with the throwaway sentence that most of us, including myself, have used numerous times. That is, when someone comes to see you in feeling not perhaps happy about something, wanting to share it with you, the response is, I understand how you're feeling. Whereas the empathetic response to that is subtly different. I want to try and understand how you feel. Not that I understand what you feel. I want to try and understand how you are feeling. Well, that seems to me to be a very subtle and simple nuance, but it's really a very important one in how we respond to things. Sympathy, to some degree, denotes hierarchy, you and the other person, a distance, and almost the word power, whereas empathy immediately gives the sense of your powerlessness in that you're saying to the person, I want to really try and understand how you feel. Now, you don't put it quite as quickly as that. It might take, I don't mean that straight away, but that's the direction in which you are going. And I think that's how I feel as I begin to try and unravel my emotional feelings for this terrible tragedy of the death of Sarah and all the investigation and comment and criticism there has been about the police. we all know, all of us who have been any part of any kind of organisation, that things can sometimes go wrong. For example, even the church has had many people who've gone off the rails, and then the whole organisation has come under scrutiny. And the same is true, I'm afraid, with the police at the present moment. But I want to be empathetic in my response to that, which gives me and allows me time to have an understanding of the way people are feeling about it before I respond. There's been a lot of work done by Christian psychologists looking at Jesus' response to those who came to see him in a position of need. And the general consensus is that Jesus wasn't sympathetic with them. He didn't look at them and say, "Oh, I understand how you feel because you're blind, lame, deaf, dumb, whatever." He was empathetic with them. He wanted to understand how they were feeling, and out of that he responded. Perhaps you could think a little bit about that during the coming week, as together we hold in our prayers Sarah and her family and those who loved her, and also the police, who we highly respect, highly regard and honour for all the amazing work that they do. Thank you.